Gracias. Hola, muy buenos días. This is Megan coming to you live from the streets of Condesa in La Ciudad de Mexico. My coffee was just delivered to me. I'm just trying to set up my camera here so it's kind of in a cave, so you can't just walk by and grab it. You know, you got to learn a few tricks when you're doing live streams out on the streets of any city, let alone Mexico City, right? So look, I just got my beautiful coffee delivered. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Whenever you can, get the cup. Don't get the to-go cup, get the cup. Get the ceramic mug, the cafe, the sit down, drink your coffee. Don't always be on the run with it, right? Like, to me, that reminds me of just living in the United States. I mean, there's plenty of people that are doing it here, but it's just my personal memory of, like, you don't have time to go. You got to get that coffee to go. And it's just part of the costume, right? So I've had my Brussels sprouts. I've had some beef jerky. Thank you. I always want to say Green Goddess. What's her name? Glucose Goddess, right? So here I'm going to have my first sip of coffee. Delicious. Muy buenos dias. Hola, Connie, if that's you here. Hi, hi, hi. So I'm here to do a little continuous line warm-ups, right? Out here. I'm right here on the Hippodromo. This is the park. It's the old racetrack, but it's the park of Condesa, and it's a big oval because it used to be a horse track. So I'm right here on the bend. I'm at Chocolat, which is a very cute cafe. The park is right there, so you're going to see lots of dogs. I'm setting this up so you can see all the dogs go by, because you know what? What's the point of sitting out on outside cafe if you're not watching dogs, right? I mean, I know some people like to watch babies or people. I like that too, but I'm here for the dogs. I'm here for the dogs, and I'm here for my continuous line warm-ups. Now, there's new people in the group, so welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so delighted that this group is growing every day. And so somebody asked me, well, why do you do these long videos in the morning, right? Live streams, as I like to call them. And, you know, I get it. There's probably very few of you that are watching it because it's a half hour long, más o menos, right? And it's where I'm sort of freeing my mind and doing my line warm-ups, right? Let me take these off. Do I want to take this off? Am I prepared for this? Yeah, because I can see better. Because I'm like in the shade here. Let me have a sip of this. So I get that nobody has the time or wherewithal for a 30-minute video, right? Even I'm, you know, like people who I like to hear from, who I like to learn from. I have a hard time staying with a 30-minute video. I mean, I think it has a lot to do with just how our society, how our culture has been formed, right? I don't even want to say that it's my doing or your doing. I think it's just kind of what we've been pushed into, right? With this whole, like when you look online at stuff, I'll speak for myself. When I look online at stuff, I don't necessarily want to fall right into a 30-minute video, right? Like there's other things to look at. There's other things to see. And I get it, right? So should I stop doing this? Well, maybe, but I do a lot of other things, right? I do, like my drawings, for example, on Instagram Reels. I will have, like my recent one is 4 large drawings that took me, well, actually it was one solid day that I dedicated to this project. You know, so it was a solid full day, and I ended up with 4 paintings, right? But I busted my chops. Uh-oh, is my pen running out? And, you know, there was prep work because they were on big canvases, so there's prepping the canvases. It's good paper, so I was trying to take really good care. I was doing all the things, and for Instagram, all 4 paintings were reduced to 20 seconds. And it still didn't even get that great of a reaction, right? I mean, I'm grateful for the folks that liked it and are supporting me on Instagram, but honestly, that Instagram game is not easy, and at least it isn't for me. I put a lot of thought and creativity into my Instagram Reels, and they don't get a good, you know, I feel like based on my numbers, they don't get much of a reaction, right? So it's frustrating, but you know, you got to play that game. You got to play that silly, stupid marketing game. And so these live streams that I do here, where I'm doing my line warm-ups, these are something that, first of all, people forget to do them, right? I get told that a lot. Oh, they're so cool, but I forget. And I'm like, I know, I do too. I forgot the first year of doing this, I would say, Muscle Manus, I always forgot. I would forget I would forget about my line warm-ups, right? Because they're easy to forget. Especially if no one's asking you, did you do your line warm-ups, right? So the point of this thing is to be a long format video to remind you to do your drawing warm-ups. And in this scenario, I am doing my drawing warm-ups. And although you can't see it, you get a sense of what I'm doing here, because I'm out on the street. I'm not going to have double cameras and everything. But so I'm doing my line warm-ups, and then when this video is, you know, then it's reposted in the group. I need a sip of my coffee. I upload it to YouTube. YouTube, as we all know, is long-form video. Although they're trying to get into the TikTok world of YouTube Shorts, right? Everybody has such TikTok envy. And honestly, when I do a YouTube short, it gets a lot of play. So, you know, I get better action there than anywhere else with my shorts, right? So I take my long form videos, which is this one. It tends to be about 20 to 30 minutes. Hi, guys. And I upload it to YouTube. And there are people on YouTube. It seems it's obviously, as you almost all know, it's the place where you're sort of expected to watch more than a 15-second video, because oftentimes you're going there to learn something or discover something or research something, right? So YouTube, as we know, is long-form video. So I do these live streams in our group as a way to like just let everyone know, hi, I'm Megan, and I do continuous line warm-ups every day. I take it, it's a serious, not serious like serious, but serious like it's a part of my practice. The word just left me. It was right there and it just went. It's a formidable, that wasn't my original word, but it was a formidable part of my practice, only because I've seen the benefits from it firsthand. I've heard other people talk about the benefits of doing these line warm-ups and how it improves their drawing, right? Now, this is sort of, you know, I can take in all the good feedback that I get from people, and I love it. I love it. But, you know, occasionally when you get those negative comments, those are the ones that tend to stick, right? Like somebody said to me, this is boring. And I was like, well, then don't do it. I mean, if this is boring to you, go find something else that is not boring to you, right? Because I feel like this is just part of the practice, part of the work I do, the efforts I make to strengthen my drawing abilities, right? Now, that doesn't mean it's always golden. I went out on this past Sunday and did a drawing of a fruit stand, and I didn't like it one bit. I just felt like it was weak. But so what? Who cares? Everyone makes a bad drawing, right? And the bad drawings teach me things too. I looked at it and I saw where I was weak. I saw where, you know, sometimes when I'm out on the street drawing, and I was literally standing in front of the fruit stand drawing it. Sometimes when I'm in that situation where I'm out in public, standing in front of the thing, and there's people, and in that case there were squirrels and dogs and babies and the whole deal. I tend to be a little bit lighter with my lines because I'm a little bit more like where I'm, you know, like I'm in the middle of the action, and my lines are sometimes not as, like right now my lines are strong because I feel comfortable, I'm in a safe place, and not that it was unsafe, I was just more exposed, right? So the bad drawings teach us things too. I saw where my lines were light, my lines were weak, and I like my strong expressive lines. I like the ability to make light lines when I want to, but I like to have a command of my lines and give things a variation in look and feel and drama and energy in action, in movement. You know, I may not have liked that sketch in the end, but, you know, I'm not going to totally throw myself under the bus, because it was a complicated sketch that I did in like 10 minutes, and I did it pretty well, right? I just had little critiques of like how I wish how I could do it better, right? I'm not like, oh, I'm just so bad and I'm so bad and I wish I could draw. No, I can draw. I can draw, and I can draw quickly, and accurate isn't my goal, but expressively is my goal, right? And so I can draw quickly, and I can draw expressively, and those are the things I want to build on, right? Those are the attributes that I want to build on. I don't want to be accurate. I don't want to draw that doorway, that building precisely, right? There's people that do that. There's people that like that. There are people that's their goal, and I say bravo to you. I'm here to support you. If you want to practice your lines in with that as your goal, I'm here for it. I'm here for my coffee too. I just slipped into outer space. All right, so that sketch that I didn't like, I shouldn't even say that, because what was kind of cute about that is there was the guy, the store owner, shopkeep guy. He was kind of like surly at first. He was like suspicious of me, and I don't blame him, right? Because they're like, what do you mean you want to draw this? Who are you? What do you want here, right? And then they see what they do, and they're like, wow, that's not bad. But he was feeding a squirrel plums. And the squirrel would very deek go up on this little stack of boxes, and he would stand there, and the guy would very politely hand him a plum, and he would take the plum, put it in his mouth, and then scamper away up a tree. And this went on a few times. Like, he couldn't have eaten that plum. I think he was just storing his plum. And so then I was like, oh, look at that. Look at the humanity there. Look at the humanity. And then he came over and he looked at my drawing, and it was something similar. I'm not going to say that he said, oh, look at the humanity. But he saw himself in the drawing, and he saw the squirrel. And I'm almost going to cry. And he saw the fruit stand, and he was like, oh, look at that. I mean, he didn't ask for my name. He didn't ask for my Instagram. He didn't ask to take a photo. Just for a brief moment, he went, oh, someone drew me, right? So the humanity of it, right? And I'm here for the humanity. I'm here to increase my skill, but I'm here for the humanity part of being an artist, right? And so I do all these like 15-second, 20-second videos on Instagram, and, you know, whatever, Instagram. But then I do these long videos here in our group in the continuous line storytelling. And then I upload them to YouTube, where that gets a whole different, you know what kind of audience is there? Is folks who are not ready to start publicly drawing, right? Even joining a group. I don't know, maybe some of them are in the group. But so they're more just like investigating, and I don't even know if they're following me. I wish more people would follow me so I had some options on YouTube, but whatever. I don't even care about that. But I am going to start doing, like, it's great to do these line exercises. I mean, it's great personally, right? And that's what the format of these live stream videos are, is to encourage others who are maybe not a part of my fundamentals group, which is super awesome and a great way. We start out doing line exercises every single class, and then we go into pattern making, and then we go into 15-minute drawings, right? So the format of this is just to get you, to remind you to do your line warm-ups, right? I'm guessing there's probably a lot of you who aren't doing them, right? I mean, like, what motivation do you have to do it? Well, the motivation, if you want to be a better drawer, there's motivation right there. It's a quick and easy way to build skill. A quick and easy way to build skill, right? But that means we basically have to put down the phone and step away from our screens and do it. And I'm not mocking anyone on that because, look, I may be doing it, but I'm in front of a screen, right? So I'm still engaged in that digital ballyhoo. I need a sip of my coffee. And so I'm looking in this cafe. There's 6 people in there, and every single one of them is looking at their phone, even though they're sitting together, right? It's our world. It's the world we live in. It is the world we live in. So you got to do what you can to stay connected to. Hi, cutie. Oh, hello. Hi. Okay, adios. See, this is key dog seat right here. Little puppy guy is so cute. So I'm here for the humanity, right? Did I say that? And I'm here for the staying connected to a tactile hobby, right? Which in my case is drawing. Maybe for you it's gardening. Maybe for you it's yoga. Maybe it's reading. But whatever it is, if you're in this group, it's probably drawing, but not necessarily. Some people just follow just to see what the heck that weirdo Megan is doing. And then never look at things, right? I mean, I get it. There's a million things pulling for our attention out there, right? A million, bazillion, trillion. And then you got the drama of the news. I was so hopeful that he was going to go to jail. And no, instead he had a rally. Oh, God. And so we're going to have months, if not years, of this sort of ridiculousness. And that's only in that arena, right? What is going to be the other arenas that are going to be just mind-bogglingly ridiculous, right? I mean, we're poised for a lot of drama. And so, me personally, I live by myself. I don't have a dog right now. Hopefully that'll change. That'll change maybe at the end of the year after I do some travels, right? I don't want to get a dog and then be traveling, right? But so I live by myself and I don't have a dog, and that's very hard. I don't recommend it. If you're going to live alone, have a pet, right? And right now I'm just finding myself without a pet. And I actually saw my dog, my former dog, on the street this weekend. It was sad. Anyways, I don't want to cry. So, given all the ballyhoo ridiculousness that we're poised to endure in the coming days and weeks and months, get yourself a hobby. Do whatever you can to keep yourself grounded, centered, and to be sovereign. Right? There's that word, sovereign. Do what you can so you don't get fractured in this era of super fracturedness, right? There's just, everything is fractured, right? The way we saw how the world was, how the world is, AI, everything. There's so many things that have fractured our world. And so, and the way, I mean, in all my research and I'm not saying I have scientific evidence, but in just my research of what I'm doing, this is the thing that is going to save you. Not following me, not doing what Megan Burns is doing, not liking her on Instagram, not following her on YouTube. Well, you can't. But to be sovereign in and of your own accord, and to do the thing that keeps you a safe distance away from the chaos, right? Because the chaos of the world is when we look at the news that's presented to us, the information that's presented to us on our phone, on our computers, whatever, right? But if you sit in your world, like here I am sitting in this corner cafe called Tout Chocolat. Beautiful trees. That's one thing about Condessa. It's got beautiful trees. Everyone's out walking their dog, walking their baby, going to work, going to the gym, garbage guys, sweeping the streets, bike riders. If you're feeling very unsettled by what is happening in the world, and that's very easy to do, is connect to your immediate surroundings. There's a woman drinking her coffee. There's a man walking his dog. There's a man changing the garbage cans. It's a lot of people walking their dogs here, right? They're walking their dogs, they're walking their dogs, they're walking their dogs, there's a lot of dogs action, right? I'm right at the park, right? And there's moms walking their babies, and there's a girl drawing right here, right? So, boom, drops me into my here and now. Here and now. What a beautiful day. This is not like, I'm not at a rally in Florida desecrating the American flag. I am here in Mexico City on this beautiful tree-lined street. It's very pleasant. The weather is very pleasant. It's been warm these days, but it's very pleasant right now, right? And so all is well in my immediate world, and I'm sitting here having a beautiful latte, and I'm drawing. I'm practicing my drawing things, right? So boom, 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 boom. Do what you can to like bring yourself into the here and now, right? Here and now. And then if you're so inclined, be a drawer, right? I mean, for me, the drawing is just the next natural part of helping me to get grounded, right? And honestly, I feel like I don't do it enough. And some would say, are you kidding? You're drawing all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but right now, not having a dog, living by myself, I should be drawing more, because to sort of fill that void of that anxiousness of like, where's my dog, right? So, I mean, maybe it's a harsh criticism. Oh, I should be drawing more, when I'm honestly drawing every day. But it's like my pacifier, right? Like in moments of anxiety, I just pick up my pen and just start doodling, right? Just to help me get through. So then, as you find your pacifier, right? Find the thing that helps you to just disengage from the chaos of the world, which is only going to get louder and louder and louder and more chaotic and more ridiculous, right? So do the thing. And so that's why I do what I do, right? And I'm also going to do, in that vein, I'm going to do a continuous line drawing in this group once a week, because all I'm doing in the free group is the continuous line warm-ups, and I decided it's time to add a continuous line drawing to the group, right? I mean, we do that in the fundamentals, but I'm going to, I'm just going to draw one photo a week, one drawing a week in the continuous line, right? Because it gives people a little bit more insight, because oftentimes people say, well, how do you do that? How do you do that? And honestly, I don't really know how to answer it, because I just do it, right? It's one of those things. So I'm just going to have a live stream video of me drawing, so those of you who are interested can see how to do it, right? Because maybe I forget, maybe it's been a while, but the whole notion of like starting to do continuous line drawing, it's overwhelming is not the word. It's maybe overwhelming, but it's a little unclear, right? Like, wait, how to. And honestly, I just see it now as you just blowing past things. You just like, that person goes into that tree, goes into that building, goes into that window, right? Like bike, tree, fence, building, right? I just build it with my lines. I don't like end at the person's. I don't end the person and then start the tree. It all just becomes one. But that does take a little bit of, it's a leap of faith. It's, and not in the sense of like, will I survive, quitting my job and starting my own business? That's a big leap of faith. This is just like little leaps of faith. And I feel like little successful leaps of faith are the things that can help you get through the day, right? Like, you don't have to make an announcement, although it is kind of a cool announcement when you start drawing and you start feeling good about it, right? That's a good thing. Announce that. But when you just start pushing through some of your drawing fears, you go, oh, look at me, I can do this now. Look at me, I can draw this coffee cup, and then I can go to the table, and then I can draw the woman sitting there, and her hand, and her pen, and her arm, to her shoulder, to her hair, to her forehead, to her eyes, to her nose, to her mouth, to the ear, to the window, to the tree, whatever, right? Like it's also a really great way to see how everything's connected, right? Which is another important message in this day and age, how connected it is, right? Like we see the bad news that's happening in Where's bad news? There's bad news everywhere, and I can't think of any right now, which is a good thing. That's because I'm so engaged in my drawing. You think about, okay, let's just say, for example, droughts in Spain, in Europe, right? Well, how does that affect me? Well, that means like maybe olive oil is going to be very hard to get or whatever, right? Like it's all connected. And that's kind of a high end problem, right? But like all these farms that the droughts of the farms, right? That's serious news. And because of this whole Trump noise, we're not really hearing about some other news, right? Like he once again is hogging the airwaves. That's his goal in life, and he has succeeded. Oh, also stealing national secrets and selling them. And he probably has done it, right? But he also got caught. So anyways, to be a media hog has been his goal, and he has won, right? So we tend not to be able to hear about other things because so much drama, emphasis is put on his ridiculousness, right? And then all of a sudden the prices of food just keep going up, and you can't buy bread anymore or whatever. That's a little extreme, but it's all connected, right? Not having rain over there is somehow going to affect us here, or people getting sick over there, or whatever, right? The world, we're all connected. It's a connected place, right? So what was my point here? My point is, like, you gotta I got so into it I forgot where I was going with that. How about I just speak in the I, right? I gotta do whatever I gotta do to like keep myself grounded and breathing through all the chaos of the ridiculousness that we probably hasn't even started, although it's a pretty good start of chaos, right? So, yeah, I'm doing the line warm-ups here, at like 3 times a week when I teach my class, and then I'm going to do a continuous line drawing once a week. I'm going to be on the road in Chicago. I'm going to be broadcasting from Chicago, which I'm pretty excited, unless it's like tornado weather outside. I'm going to be up in Wisconsin. My sister-in-law has me working in cornfields. She sent me pictures. She's got stacks of canvases, and like I'm going to be painting 24/7 when I'm there. I'm like, can I have a hot dog and relax? No. I'm going to be working my butt off there in Wisconsin. In fact, I may even extend my stay a little bit if things are going well. She's got all these gigs for me, right? So I'm going to say yes to the gigs, right? And but I'm still going to be broadcasting. I'm still going to be doing my classes. That's the beauty of doing online classes, that I'm able to do it from wherever. Yeah, so I'm really just saying yes to being an artist. Just say yes, right? And I understand that's you may say yes today, and then tomorrow it's like, was I high, right? Like, it's not an easy thing to commit to saying you're an artist, right? Like, easier for some than others, right? Some people have no problem with it whatsoever. I've had a bit of a struggle with it just because of my own past with it, but so what? I always love to hear people's art stories. Everyone has an art story. Everyone who's making art right now, especially later in their lives, not as a child and continuing through. Everyone who has stopped making art and then picked it up later in life, I mean, usually there's reasons for that. Raising the family, careers, right? Like, I wouldn't have been able to do this kind of art 10 years ago. I had to work for the man. So everyone who finds their way back to art, it's usually a beautiful story, right? Like, I mean, like for me, it was like my brother was the artist, and he got all the support, and my mom was an artist, but she had to work, and so she didn't allow herself, right? So it was sort of like okay for the guy, the boy, the man, to be the artist because he's a man, but my mom, no, she had to do all the work first, and so I wasn't like, oh, that's cute, Megan, yeah, you can draw. And my mom never did get to see me draw, right? So I do it with her in my heart and in my mind, and I do it for my mom, right? But I do it for myself too, right? Because I think it's always been there in me, right? So be an artist, right? If that's your deal, if that's your shtick, struggle through it, right? Like, I know my journey is still bumpy, but enjoyable and surprising. And I mean, I feel like there's a lot of unknowns about my art career ahead of me, right? I feel like, and I'm excited about that. I had kind of had myself set like I was going to be doing urban sketching workshops, and now I'm like, that was the past, and now I'm excited to see what's ahead, right? I'm going to find new ways to do workshops. It's not going to be focused on that, just because I feel like that community is not where I want to be. I'm still an urban sketcher, but I don't want to be a part of that thing. I want to be free to do everything and anything, right? So that's just part of my journey, right? All right, I'm coming to the end of this, and I did kind of a longer pattern here. And by doing this longer pattern, I felt like I got deeper into my psyche. And deeper into the unraveling, because doing these line exercises are definitely my morning page, right? My morning page. If you've done that, or if you're familiar with it, it is a way to sort of dump out all your thoughts onto the paper, so that you're free. You've unlocked yourself, so you're free to be creative and express yourself, right? So like the morning pages are 3 pages of handwritten blah blah blah. And so what I am in turn doing is I'm doing my lines, but I'm blah blah blahing, right? And as a way to say, first of all, it's okay to go blah blah blah, to have a place and a space where you can do that, right? Like, I'm not saying everyone should just go live stream and start unloading their thoughts, although a lot of people do that, right? And that's why I know a lot of people are not watching, because, like, who wants to just sit here for a half hour and listen to me and go blah, blah, blah. But I do try to keep it in the realm of artistry. Coca-Cola. It's okay to pause for coffee or whatever you drink. So I do kind of it's not even like I try to keep my ramblings. It's like, that's where my thoughts are. That's my world. This is what I do. It's not like I have to be like, oh yeah, talk about being an artist, because that's what you are right now. No, I'm an artist 24/7, and it's with me 24/7, and that could be why I'm oftentimes like, oh, I'm not doing enough, right? That's my mother back there. Oh, look at you. You're drawing. How nice. You must have everything done that you're able to draw, right? Oh, look at you. It must be nice to have so much free time. I can tell. Look at that little guy. A little Pomeranian. He's like this big. I'm sure, like many of you, my mother was, she was pretty hardcore, like, just get shit done, right? I'm like that, but in a very different way. I have a different approach to it. Anyways, so I'm actually going to leave this line. I'm not going to add any heart. Well, yeah, I'm going to add some hearts, because that's go easy on myself, go easy on others. Oh my God, that just totally messed up the whole design of it, but that's all right. That's good for all those folks that are like, what is that called when you want things perfected? Obsessive compulsive. I know there's a better word for it, but I just put my heart in the middle of everything and wrecked my perfect design. No, it's not perfect. Anyways, there we go. Good morning, everyone. So here's my lines. There's my hearts. Finish big with a heart. Finish big with a heart. So I'm on my way back home now. I'm going to have my fundamentals class, and then I'm going to go this afternoon. I'm going to do some large paintings, because I'm on a roll with that, right? I'm on a roll. When you're on a roll, do the thing, right? Don't. To stop your art is to stop your heart connection, right? All right, everyone. I think it's Wednesday, is it not? Have a happy Wednesday. Show me your lines, show me your drawing. Lean into your lines, lean into your drawings, and have a great day. Okay, bye.